The board of the Saskatchewan Health Authority has unanimously voted to end its contract with the company that operates ambulances in Lloydminster. It's not the first time the board has voted to end its contract with the ambulance company called Duchek Holdings, operating under the name WPD Ambulance Lloydminster. In the fall, the board voted to terminate its agreement, saying the company was unable to meet its obligations in its contracts. But the decision has been held up as WPD Ambulance disputed the move and took it to arbitration. Now the board has voted to end the contract under new grounds of the agreement expiring. The decision could also still end up in arbitration. As yesterday marked 4 years since the Humboldt Broncos bus crash, today is Green Shirt Day. In honor of that reality, our Tate Lakecraft spoke with a local man who had his own experience with an organ transplant.
This year, the Canadian Transplant Association is continuing to raise organ donor awareness in honor of Humboldt Bronco Logan Boulet. A day after the crash in 2018, Boulet did succumb to his injuries, but as an organ donor, he was able to save the lives of 6 different people. Joining me today, though, in honor of Green Shirt Day, is Tim Johnson from Lloydminster's branch of the Canadian Transplant Association, and he's here to tell his story. Tim, thanks so much for doing this.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
Opening things up, then, Tim, could I just get you to tell your story, which kind of highlights why this day is important to you?
Uh, okay, well, first of all, I'm currently almost 55 years old. When I was 20 years old, I was diagnosed with diabetes, and they didn't have, there wasn't a lot to do with, I mean, basically you injected insulin. That was basically the treatment. And then over the years, diabetes has a tendency to take its toll on the body. And in my case, it eventually attacked my kidneys, and my kidneys began to shut down. And I ended up on dialysis for 4.5 years. There was a life-threatening situation that wound up happening in 2013, uh, where I had to be air ambulanced to Edmonton. So when you start getting into that situation, when your organs are getting to that point where they're causing your life to be threatened, um, it gets serious, and you start to, it really diminishes your basically quality of life. So I was lucky in November of 2014. I was actually in the dialysis chair, and I was actually called, and they said, we have your organs, get down here as soon as we can. So I ended up going to the University of Alberta, and on November 7th, um, I received a kidney and a pancreas from the same donor. Pancreas is a fairly rare uh, transplant. There's not very many of them done. The success rate is not as high. They're still developing it. But because of that, I ended up 20 years of needles, no, 26 years of needles, no longer. And my dialysis ended, and all of a sudden, life became a totally different story. Prior to my transplant, I had actually been off work for 18 months because the hemodialysis that I was on actually made me sick. And that's quite common with a lot of people. So I ended up on long-term disability for 18 months. So uh, yeah, it was a life-altering experience. It made a huge difference.
Yeah, I can't even begin to imagine. But with that experience, I know it kind of propelled you into a position where you've been able to stir some awareness yourself. So, can I just get you to speak on that?
So after that, I adopted a pay it forward attitude. So basically, I just started volunteering for as much as I could. And I had already been a part of a group that had started in 2013, who then associated with the Canadian Transplant Association. So I got involved in that. And over the years, we've done transplant trots, we've done organ and tissue donation awareness events, like we had hot dog day, and we've done several different things to try and raise awareness. Plus we do tables at the farmers market, and we do all kinds of different things. So I've volunteered for quite a bit. um, Over the last couple of years, we haven't been able to do very much because of COVID, but for all of it. It's just basically it's been a joy to be able to give back and be a part of the community and raise awareness. And the people around me have always been very supportive. And then um, yeah, it's just been an amazing journey. I'll put it that way.
With that, though, I'll say to you, Tim, thanks again for joining me here. I appreciate you coming on the show and sharing your story. But for people at home who maybe might be interested in learning a little bit more about potentially becoming an organ donor themselves, I'll direct them to the Canadian Transplant Association's website, which is www.canadiantransplant.com. That's all the time we have, though, for right now. So, Tim, thanks again.
I really appreciate that giving me the opportunity to speak.
Now we'll go to our Shelby Clark for a first look at tonight's forecast.
Thanks so much, Jasmine. Now taking a first look at your weather forecast. Here in the border city, we saw a gorgeous day outside. Hopefully everybody got the chance to go outside and enjoy it. We are still seeing some sunnier skies right now. We are sitting at 11 degrees. We are seeing a much beautiful day compared to what we have been seeing yesterday for sure. But we did see a beautiful day, and we even will be continuing that into tomorrow to start off our weekend. Now switching over to temperatures across the region for Alberta and Saskatchewan. On the Alberta side, we're seeing some warm temperatures once again, seeing a lot more spots with those double digits, 10 up in Lac La Biche, while it is 9 in both Bonnyville and St. Paul, 10 as well as in Cold Lake, while it is 11 degrees in Marwayne, 12 degrees in Provost, Vegreville, and Vermilion, and Wainwright is sitting at 13, while Edmonton is seeing the warmest just hitting 14. Now switching over to our Saskatchewan side here, they are seeing some slightly warmer temperatures as well. Most spots are seeing those single digits, but they aren't looking too bad whatsoever. Most spots are seeing around 7 degrees on this map, 10 in Maidstone and North Battleford, while down in Macklin they are seeing a warmer day at 13, and it is 6 degrees up in Meadow Lake right now. And for North Battleford right now, they are seeing 10 degrees and will be cooling down to -1 for their evening low, so not too bad for their evening. They will be seeing a nice warmer evening than what we saw last night, but tomorrow they will be seeing 15 degrees, but seeing a high chance of some showers starting off in the morning, although they will be a lot warmer than what they have been seeing today, and hopefully that sun will start to peek behind those clouds for them tomorrow. Switching out to Cold Lake, they'll be cooling down to that 1 mark for their evening low. Then tomorrow they will be seeing around the same temperature, around 10 degrees, but they will be seeing a little bit more cloudier skies. And for us in the border city, we'll be going down to that 1 mark as well. Then tomorrow we'll be starting off our weekend really warm at 16, seeing a mix of some sun and clouds, so hopefully we will be seeing a lot more sun once again tomorrow. And now looking at your 3-day forecast for here in the border city, we'll be seeing a warm day tomorrow, and then Saturday that will continue for 10 degrees and a low of 2 with a mix of sun and cloud. We will be seeing a high chance of some flurries and showers on the weekend as well, but hopefully it won't be too much. It'll be pretty light, and then Sunday will end off slightly cooler at 3 degrees. That's the first look at your weather forecast. Our Jasmine King will have more news coming up after the break.
Aztec Safety is getting preparations underway for a safe dig event. I spoke with their COO for the details.
I'm joined now by Jeff Mulligan. He is the COO of Aztec Safety. Now, at the end of the month, you are hosting an in-person event. Could you just give me some detail into what this event is?
Years ago, 2 years ago, back in 2019, we had every year a Dig Safe breakfast hosted with by utility safety partners and/or Saskatchewan Common Ground Alliance, and we did it in person. We'd do a morning breakfast, and we'd bring everybody together to talk about ground disturbance, talk about damage prevention, and just in Safe Digging Month, remind everybody we want to protect infrastructure and people. We'd get together for a breakfast, we'd have a few good laughs, some door prizes, and unfortunately we haven't been able to do that for some time now.
And as you mentioned, they haven't been able to have the event since 2019. So just what does it mean to be able to host once again?
Well, to be selected and recognized as leaders in damage prevention and industry that's ripe and happening and busy in the oil sector and construction and road construction here in Lloydminster in the area, it just says that we've got the right mix of ingredients that they saw fit to pick us as a site to resurrect the meetings.
April is Safe Digging Month. So what are you hoping that attendees can learn and just be reminded of at the event?
Well, most importantly is call for locates, click before you dig, and ensure that you don't, just because you got equipment there, or because you got a deadline, or because somebody says, well, I've lived here my whole life, I know there's nothing under there. That's when problems start. We want to make sure that we remind people that the most important thing is to get the locates, do it right, and everybody will go home safe. But more importantly, we won't have a big wreck on fiber optics, pipeline, things that when they're damaged, they create turmoil for the entire community and its residents.
You were also having a discussion with industry experts. So, what type of experts are you hoping to bring in and what will they focus on?
Well, we're going to bring in people that are actively engaged in damage prevention, likely the people who lead the one-call services in both provinces, as well as a couple of industry people, possibly somebody from Synovus, but people that are involved in the pipeline and the movement of explosives, really.
We're getting to that time of the year where people start thinking about home construction projects. So, is this just a reminder, even for those who aren't attending, to be safe?
Yes, I mean, it can be as simple as putting in one post for a mailbox, as simple as putting in a couple of fence posts. You need to make sure that there isn't something under there that could be damaged and could damage you. So we really strongly advocate that, one, you're adequately trained, which is the work that we do for ground disturbance training, and two, that you undertake the processes that are outlined, and that is click before you dig.
If anyone is interested in attending the event, how can they find out more information?
The Saskatchewan Common Ground Alliance, scga.ca. There is a link also that I'll put up on our Facebook and our websites. And it's simply just going in, clicking, saying that you're going to the breakfast. And then we have it accounted for so we can make sure you get your bacon and eggs and toast. The most important thing is that this is anybody that's an excavator, a contractor in the oil field, water and sewer, telecom, anybody who's involved that has infrastructure that's buried, or anybody in municipal government, municipal planning, any of those areas, we are all affected by ground disturbance and damage prevention, underground buried utilities. And so why not get together for a breakfast? It's only going to be an hour and a half hour formal part. And we're going to just remind ourselves, our community, and our partners that we need to be safe when we're digging.
Thank you so much for your time today, Jeff.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And now we'll take a look at today's market prices.
Today's oil prices are brought to you by First General Services.
Welcome back. The Everything Equine on the Border event will be taking place this weekend. Our Thomas Wildman has a preview of what's going to be happening at the Lloyd X.
The event has been in development for over a year, but due to COVID, it had to be shelved. But now everything has come together for Dallas Eakett and the rest of the Everything Equine Committee.
It feels great. It's been a long time coming. We actually started planning. We thought we were going to be able to pull it off a year ago. And in January, the COVID restrictions were we weren't sure where they were, what they were going to be. And so we decided to wait a year. And it turned out good. Things are open now. We can do what we want. Crazy excited to have all these clinicians coming in.
There are clinics with prominent horse trainers and riders like Jason and Bronwyn Irwin, as well as Alexander Grayton. It will also have a large trade show, a fashion show on Saturday, and the Trainers Challenge, which will run all weekend, where 3 individuals will train a 3-year-old horse. There are many different ways to be part of the fun this weekend.
Our tickets are $15 a day, $45 for the weekend, or you can get a $100 for the weekend VIP pass. That VIP pass gets you reserved seating at both the High Hog Round Pen as well as the Matlock Farms Arena. Gets you some coffee and breakfast snacks all day, and meet and greet with the trainers and clinicians on Saturday evening. And you can pick those up through Eventbrite or down here in person. And I mean, we're $15 a day, and that gets you into everything we have going on.
The Everything Equine on the Border event begins this Friday at 8 a.m. Be sure to come on down here if you're interested in any of these equine events or any of these trainers. For Primetime Local News, I'm Thomas Wildman.
And now we'll take a look at today's agriculture prices. After 10 years with the Bonnyville Pontiacs, head coach and general manager Rick Swan has mutually agreed to part ways with the team. Swan spent the 2012 season as an assistant coach before being promoted for his final 9 years with the team. Swan is the winningest coach in Pontiac's history with 271 regular season victories. Swan was awarded the 2016 AJHL Coach of the Year and Hockey Alberta's Order of Merit in 2020. And now for a second look at tonight's weather, we go to Shelby Clark.
Thanks so much again, Jasmine King. Now taking another look at your weather forecast, we'll be looking at the central zone of our provinces. And as you can see, we definitely have warmed up quite a bit on the Alberta side, even seeing those double-digit temperatures, but we are even reaching almost 20 degrees in some spots on the map. It is 11 in Athabasca, while Cold Lake is sitting at 10. The rest are slightly warmer with 14 in both Edmonton and Whitecourt, 15 down in Rocky Mountain House, while it is 16 in both Red Deer and Edson, and Jasper is looking the warmest, just hitting 17 degrees. Now switching over to our Saskatchewan side here, they are seeing those plus temperatures, but slightly cooler compared to the Alberta side, especially with Meadow Lake at 7 degrees and 3 and 4 in Prince Albert and Melfort. But the rest have warmed up quite a bit, also seeing that 10-degree point. Now switching over to our northern region now, we are seeing some double-digit temps as well on this side. They definitely have warmed up compared to what they have been seeing later through on in the week. 3 in Wolston Lake, while it is 6 degrees in Stony Rapids and La Ronge. 7 in Flin Flon, while it is 8 in South End and Uranium City, and the rest are seeing 11 degrees. Now switching over to this side here, they are seeing some warmer temperatures for sure, especially down in this area here, with most spots seeing between 13 to 15 degrees. 12 in Fort McMurray and Fort Chippewyan high level are slightly cooler, but they are still sitting at 8. Now going over to our southern region now, they definitely are seeing some warm temperatures, but we are, like in the central zone, we are seeing those double-digit temps, which is great to see. Even Lethbridge is at 18, so almost reaching the 20-degree point. 15 in Medicine Hat and Calgary, while Coordination is at 14, and Banff is slightly cooler, just seeing 11. Now switching over to this end here, they are seeing those plus temperatures, but they have cooled down compared to the Alberta side. Swift Current in Regina at 9 degrees, while the 7 in Estevan. Yorkton is looking the coolest, just at 4 degrees, and the rest are seeing 10. And now going back across the region is seeing what we will expect throughout our evening. We will be seeing some very nice temperatures through our evening and throughout the night in most spots across the region, which is great to see. We were seeing those minus points earlier on in the week, but we warmed it right back up here. Spring is slowly trying to make its way here in the border city. We are seeing some beautiful days, but unfortunately we're going to be getting some snowy conditions that come on the weekend here. Isle Cross and Unity will be seeing a low of -1, while Paradise Hill and Meadow Lake will be seeing that 0 mark. 1 for Pearsland that they will be seeing, while Wainwright, Provost, and Bonnyville will be seeing a low of 2, and Murnum will be seeing the warmest with a low of 3. And most spots will be seeing some cloudier skies throughout the night, but they won't be seeing a high chance of some showers or some flurries, so we will be seeing a beautiful evening. And now switching over to temperatures tomorrow for our Friday. Most spots will be warming right up. Look, even on the Alberta side, we'll even be seeing some spots with 20 degrees, especially Vermilion and Provost. Wainwright will even be reaching a high of 22, but the rest will be seeing those plus temperatures, so I think we all will enjoy a good start to our weekend. And now looking at our 7-day forecast for here in the border city, we'll be joining that double digit tomorrow with 16, but seeing a 40% chance of some showers and some flurries that will continue throughout the weekend. Then we will be seeing some slightly cooler temperatures next week, starting off with 0 next Monday and Tuesday, and 3 and 5 next Wednesday and Thursday. That is another look at your weather forecast. We'll have more news coming up after the break.
Today for Primetime Local News, I'm joined with Alyssa Wack from Higher Conscious Babe and Lolita and Jordan Buckle with LJ Buckle to talk about a ladies paint night they are hosting coming up on April 29th. So thank you so much, ladies, for joining us here today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
So first, let's start off with what you can tell us about this event and what will be going on throughout the night.
This event really, I guess for me, it really started with wanting to create a space that would allow women to just like fully disconnect from the chaos of life and re-energize, because I think it's been a really long couple years of facing a lot of unique challenges through the pandemic and just life itself through the pandemic, essentially. And with women just being such big givers, I really don't think women give back to themselves enough. And that's what this night's really tailored to, I feel like. So it's really to nourish the mind, body, and spirit is the intentions behind it. And it's a night to step more into the expressed version of yourself, and one who isn't afraid to hold themselves back and really expand themselves and their vision. So the first hour essentially is going to be holding space specifically for those things, which we will guide them through. And then we'll be tapping into an expanded, empowered version of themselves. And after that is where we dig into the mindset paint night portion.
The mindset paint night. I am an artist, so also a mindset coach. So basically, I bring everybody back to their childhood. I teach a technique, and everybody kind of has free reign on how they want to express that on the paper or the canvas. And we incorporate positive affirmations, get the ladies to be super high vibe. We play music, get them dancing, and just getting them to embody the best version of themselves and just have fun.
Yeah, and then with the music too, you know, when you're in a lower vibration and you want to raise your vibration, your emotions, that's where the music comes in, and that's where you start to become alive, and you start to find your truest self. So that everything just kind of all collaborates together.
The doors open at 6:30, and then we start the evening off. We kick it off at 7, diving into some of these things, and the painting kicks off at 8. So we do plan to have a bar with $4 drink tickets, and then we are also going to sell 6 drink tickets for $20.
Yeah.
And then we're also going to have individual charcuterie boxes from Sip Gray's Love. And then McGowan Chartered Professional Accountants is also sneaking in there with a little gift for each table. And then Bobby with the Soul Kiss Journey will also be there for auric pictures for those that want to bring a little bit of extra cash and do the aura photos, which I think will be so much fun.
And how much are tickets right now?
They are $70. We do have a giveaway that does go until it goes until midnight tonight. So $70 for the early birds until the 14th of April. And then after that, it will be $80 until all tickets are sold.
And where can people go about finding tickets for this?
Yeah, so we do have a spot online. It's all sold online. So the easiest way I would say is either, like, we've got the website, it's higherconsciousbabe.com, and then it is Rewilding Ladies Paint Night with a bunch of little abbreviations and stuff in there. So it might be easiest just to go ahead and go find us on Facebook, whether it's LJ Buckle, either LJ Buckle or Higher Conscious Babe, and the event information will be on there. And they can catch the link, or on Instagram as well at the same handles.
And this paint night is really all about relaxation and just letting go of the chaos of life. So what can you say to that?
Just to release and feel comfortable and have fun. I think getting together with, women in general, it is a high vibe in itself. So just to lift everybody's spirits, make them feel worthy and loved again, and to know that they have unlimited amount of supply within themselves to bring this to themselves every day. So that's what we want to teach them, is how to stay positive and just to keep going and to support others.
Well, thank you, ladies, for coming on and sharing a little bit more about this fun night you guys have planned.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Furniture set and design supplied by Furniture Gallery and Furniture House, downtown Lloydminster.
Speaking with us today for Primetime Local News is Canadian country singer-songwriter Graham Trude, and we are speaking on his new single called PTSD. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me.
No, of course, I'm glad we were able to have you on here. I thought your story was very interesting, especially being a former war veteran and police officer. I wanted to start off with asking with how you got into this and what the song is all about.
Yeah, so the song is about my life and my journey as a former veteran and first responder, and the most therapeutic way for me to express my emotions and always has been through songwriting and music. So at the time, the way that I was feeling is what I decided to put down on paper and to write, and out came PTSD, which I love. I'm super happy with it.
And with using your life's journey and those traumatic events to help you write this song, to help people out there that listen to it as well, how has support been so far since it's released?
The support's been incredible, and I mean, I've always had an incredible support from the military and first responder community. But the nice thing is that we've opened this uh, up. I wanted to open the song up more, not just to the veteran first responder community, but I wanted to open it up to the public to know that this song will not only reflect but relate to them as well, because this song can relate to anybody who has any trauma related issues.
And what exactly has the experience been like, moving from being a war veteran and a first responder into the music industry?
Yeah, so I mean, it's a totally different scenario and basis of what I'm doing now. I mean, I went from a very conservative styled, militarized type environment, and that was my whole life, into more of an artistic, creative style environment, which is, to be honest, has been an extreme blessing to me. So I kind of take all this in with a deep breath, and just I try and slow down and do the one day at a time thing, because it's totally it's foreign to me, to be honest.
For people out there that have been through your same experience or even experienced those traumatic events in their lives, what do you hope that they're going to get out of listening to this song? What kind of message are you hoping to share?
Mainly I hope at least one person, and I know a lot of people say this when they release their single, but I truly, honestly, in my heart mean it, that I just want one person to try and get some sort of ease with it, some sort of um, you know uh, maybe some sort of stimulation that is just not involved with real life, to know that there are numerous other people out there suffering with trauma and post-traumatic stress. There are so many support systems out there to actually bring it together as a community and a public, and to make this stigma something that doesn't need to be brought into the world anymore.
And do you have some future projects in the works or anything that you're working on right now that we can get a little bit of a look ahead on?
Yeah, absolutely. I've got a full EP that's coming out. I'm doing some work with some really amazing Canadian acts, and there's going to be a lot of stuff heading out towards the US side of things as well. But I want to try and stick in Canada as much as I can, and be as creative as I can in my country that I love and that I fought for.
Perfect. Well, once again, thank you so much for joining us today, Graham. And is there anything else you want to add that I may have missed out on for this new single?
No, I just I hope some people get some solace in it, and I really hope that it brings a little bit of understanding and knowledge and perseverance, to know that you're not alone. Truly, there is people. There are a number of people out there that are struggling, and once you find that community, you will be welcomed with open arms.
Well, I think it's amazing that even through your eventful life and all the traumatic events that you have been through, being a war veteran and a first responder, that you're wanting to help people out there that are dealing with around the same experiences that you had, and you're wanting to help break the stigma. And I think that's a great initiative. So I hope people watching this out there kind of don't really know much about your music. They take the time to be able to listen to it and share. So once again, thank you so much for joining us today, Graham.
Thank you.
Ending off with taking another quick look at your weather forecast here. We're looking at temperatures tomorrow. We will be seeing a beautiful day tomorrow for our Friday. You know, we'll even be seeing those 20-degree points in some spots on the map across the region. And then most spots we'll be seeing those single digits, but not too bad whatsoever. On the Saskatchewan side, they will be looking slightly cooler compared to the Alberta side. And now looking at your 7-day forecast, once again, we will be seeing some nice temperatures these next 2 days with a high chance of some flurries. But then next week we will be starting off slightly cooler on Monday with that 0 mark with a 50% chance of some flurries. But it will be some light snowfall, and that will melt down soon because Wednesday and Thursday we will be warming up to 3 and 5 degrees with a mix of some sun and cloud.
Thank you for that, Shelby, and thank you for joining us on Primetime Local News. You can catch us again in the second hour.